Well, gardening friends, this is November 12th, and I think last night probably qualifies as the first hard frost we've had. Few things are growing out here. These calendulas, I think they are growing pretty good that I planted here, and I started them from seed just this year actually. The hibiscus has gone to seed, and looks like all the seeds have fallen out actually. How about that? And you know, one of the biggest objections I have to my main flower bed out here in the front is things are just too tall, and then there's nothing blooming right now. You see the birds have been really enjoying the bird feeder over here. Some days they're just completely all crowded on there, so there's no more room. Anyway, so I think I'd like to get rid of the tall stuff and put some more flowers out here that grow all year long. Like these, I think these are calendulas. I just started some wildflowers from seed this year and planted some of them. I didn't trim back these because I think the birds are supposed to enjoy eating the seeds. I think these are coneflowers. It always annoys me how in this loose strife all the leaves get eaten up this time of year. You can almost see ice in there. It was frozen earlier this morning. Here's some more seeds I started from this year. One of the projects I think I want to do is dig up this berry bush. High bush. I think viburnum, that's what it is. And put it out back. I'm going to leave these here. It's hardy gladiolas, I think. Here's some more of those loose strife. They're very pretty when they're blooming, but then they get to looking so raggedy. I might just start cutting them down once they're done blooming. Here's these bush cherries that the birds are supposed to like that never seem to have any cherries. I wonder how many years old they have to be before they have cherries. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to dig up a lot of these. This is a hibiscus. Maybe when it's done blooming, I should just start cutting it down. And here's bee balm I planted. I don't think it looks like it's stricken by some white mold that I forget the name of. It was growing out back, and I just planted it out here this year. Yes, I forget. I've heard them called live forevers, but I can't remember the name. But they don't have. They got thick green leaves. I forget the name. It's got red flowers on it, but they're not very fantastic. So I think I'm going to get rid of them too. I might start cutting down a lot of these tall things. These are, I think these are some sort of daisies. Well, here's some columbine I just planted out here this year. It looks like it. This stuff, I'm glad it received the stuff all over the place. That's the kind of stuff I like. I think these are those alpine strawberries. I'm hoping to kind of get those started over here for the birds. Here's the plum bag. Oh, I love that. I need to start digging it up and putting it all over the place. Yes, here's the hibiscus, but I'm actually thinking about digging this one up and putting it out back because it's just too big for this flower bed here. Either I'm going to start digging it up or just radically cutting it back all year long. Along with this loose stripe. I might just dig this loose stripe out of here because it gets looking so raggedy. Either that, just cut down. Here's a geranium. Here's a geranium. I should cut it back. Or dig it up and take it inside, but I don't know. Then you just have to water it all winter long. Here's a hardy geranium that I just planted here this year. I bought it as a bare root. Here's one of that calendula that I planted just this year. I'm thinking about putting as many moss roses in this flower bed as I can. Here's some more of that hardy geraniums I planted here this year from bare root. And here's some more of the poppies. Looks like there's going to be a lot of those next year. I'm told that those are annuals. So these are all started from seeds where they self-sow them. They just seem to be perennial because they self-sow so much. And one year I bought a tray of mixed sedums, and this is what's left of those. They just keep growing every year. These are miniature rose I bought at Menards or something. And this rose here, this is really something. I dug a, looks like a nice flower, but that rose was growing over here. In fact, this is the same rose. I dug this rose up and planted it over here. Only instead, now I got two roses. So I think what I'm going to do is right in here, kind of a little bare space there. I might take this rose and dig it up for a second time and plant it in here. So I want to get rid of all the big stuff from out front. Oh, and this trumpet vine, it just grows way too much to be out here. So I'm going to probably start next year digging it up, but I anticipate that it will take several years to dig this out, and in digging it up in the spring and maybe cutting it off the rest of the year, it will only slow it down. These moonflowers are annual, at least they're annual around here. I think they're annual. An annual is a plant that does its entire life cycle in 1 year. Grows and reseeds and everything in the same growing season. Whereas a perennial or a biennial, biennials live for 2 years. They do their life cycle in 2 years. Hollyhocks are biennials. And marigolds are annuals. And this here is honeysuckle. And it is a perennial. And you could even say it's a woody perennial. Because look at that wood. So this is a woody perennial. Yeah. So is trumpet vine is a woody perennial. Look at that flower. There's a bunch of seeds growing in there. This is moonflowers. I bet you a bunch of seeds growing there. These are flowers that have bloomed, I'm pretty sure. And then here I planted a bunch of bulbs. I don't remember what bulbs. Maybe it was English bluebells, maybe. I guess I actually don't remember. And I covered this over for a couple of years with wood chips to kill off all of the Vinca minor that was down here. And you can see I come up to about here. It's still here. This is this vine that was grown over here. Chocolate vine. This is a chocolate vine that was grown over here. And I had the swing set over here, and I took it all down and put it out front there with the trumpet vine on it and the honeysuckle. And these daylilies evidently weren't killed by the wood chips on top of them for a couple of years. But it did make really good soil having those wood chips here for a couple of years. This white stuff here is a mold that I can't think of right now that helps break down the wood chips, and the plants actually use that to get nutrients into their cells. I forgot the name of that mold that helps break down plants. It's really good for fertilizers. This is coral bells here in the fall. It's all done blooming. I think this area here next is going to be where I'll cut everything down and then cover it up with wood chips. Now these bush cherries have been here for several years and they've never bloomed. I mean, they bloom every year. They've never had cherries on them. Could be because, of course, the first few years they were here, the fence wasn't here. And then a new neighbor put the fence up. He's a very, very friendly guy, nice guy, but he put up an unfriendly fence. Anyway, next year I'll cut all this down, start covering it up with wood chips for a couple of years. And here is the last area where I cut it all down and put up wood chips here for a couple of years. And then I planted flower seeds, well, just old wildflower seeds, and I broadcast them. Of course, I think from now on I'm going to use, I'm going to put them in rows because it's much easier to keep the weeds out. And since it was just an assortment of wildflowers, I don't really know all the names. I can just guess. Like these are centuriae or coneflowers, and I would just call these black-eyed Susans, but who knows the name. And these are calendulas. So I'm going to dig all these up in the spring, the ones that come back, and then plant them out front. Because I'd like to have more things that bloom all year long out front. And I also put a bunch of mixed, several packages, mixed they weren't wildflower seeds, mixed seeds. These are marigolds, so they're definitely annuals. I really like the smell of marigolds. These are some of the red variety of marigolds. This is sweet alyssum. It's purple flower, I don't know. And I think down in here there's some statues Byzantia, which I can't remember. I always call them bunny rabbit ears, but I don't think that's quite right. They have the soft, kind of hairy leaves. I think these are coneflowers, centuriae. And so the stuff that comes back here, I'll dig up next year and put out front. These are California poppies. They have bloomed a few times. And these are very, very big. Can't think of it right now. It's a pretty flower. I don't know what that is. What's off of these things? Huh. Nasturtiums. These are nasturtiums. I just remembered it. Look at my tomatoes over here growing away. And I got these flowers on them. And I don't even know, Spanish flags maybe? I don't even know what they are or where they came from. It's a vine. I think it must be Spanish flag. Hummingbirds are supposed to really like that. But I had tons of tomatoes here. There's all kinds of vegetables in there. There's a huge cucumber that didn't get eaten. I think the jury is still out about these raised beds. I'm actually almost wishing I hadn't put them in. But I guess we'll see. And as far as that compost tumbler, it's going to be history. It's more easier just to throw it on the ground. And it always dries out in there. That's one of the biggest complaints I have about it, is everything dries out in there. You always got to be watering it. And here's a bunch of wood chips I picked up that I think I'm going to put them in this area here next year. And make this whole area flower up to about this corner right here. I'll make it into a flower bed. The birds are really loving this feeder here with the brush pile I made. There's tons of birds that land on there, and then when I come out there and get close, they go into those trees. Some of those are Virginia red cedar, and some of them are white pine that I planted when I first moved in here many years ago. Okay, well, that's my garden on this November 12th. And thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. And if you like my video here, please subscribe. I really would appreciate it, and it helps make more videos. So I will talk to you next time, and goodbye.